Welcome back, folks. My name is LastKnownMeal, and today we're going to be talking about Elex II, or well, more precisely, some of the things which I'm worried about when it comes to this game. Because I've been playing Piranha Bytes games since Gothic 1, so for a very long time. And when Elex came out, it attracted a lot of new players to the game who had never experienced a Piranha Bytes game. Because when Gothic came out, Piranha Bytes was kind of an underground studio. It was just mostly popular here in Europe. It wasn't really popular as much in the US. People played it, but not as much. But when Elex came out, I had seen a lot of new people who came into this game and who kinda don't know what to expect from this studio. So those are some of the things which worry me about Elex II, and I'm gonna be going into them right now. So the first thing which does worry me is the usual Piranha Bytes jank. Every single Piranha Bytes game which came out had a certain level of jank, and people who had played their games for a very long time kinda got used to it, know what I'm talking about, and it's kind of a difficult thing to explain. Because mechanically and combat wise, things can get a little bit complicated, and that was the case for Elex 1, where even before that game came out I said, look, there are going to be some issues with this game. You will have a group of people who are not going to like it for the mechanics, etc, etc, because the game can be very unforgiving, especially when you combine questionable mechanics into that. It can potentially create issues. So my biggest worry for Elex 2 is that they haven't sorted out those issues. Now, at the same time, from the gameplay I'd seen that Extra Life and the others were playing, like the demo, like 1 hour of Elex 2, I'd seen that some improvements have indeed been made, especially when it comes to the combat. Combat has a lot more variations when it comes to the animations. Combat actually feels a little bit more impactful right now than it was in Elex, and they had made progress, like definitely from, like, let's say Resident 3 to Elex 1, progress combat wise has been made, improved, but at the same time mechanically the game still had issues. When you click something it wasn't working, using Jetpack and combining that with an attack wasn't working, you know, the best every time, and when you have an enemy which is extremely strong, people get frustrated, people get pissed. So that's something I'd seen in my comments. There was a lot of people who were actually mad, like they were like, oh my god, this game mechanically is bad, I don't know what to do, everyone is destroying me, my weapons don't work, etc, etc. So I hope that Piranha Bytes learned from that, because with Elex 2 there's gonna be more people playing that. I'm telling you, there's gonna be more new people playing it, so I do hope that at least a first hour of the game is gonna be catered a little bit for the new players. I'm not saying to the point where they should change how their games function and guide your hand, absolutely not. Every Piranha Bytes game, how it's made and designed, it's designed not to guide your hand, but to give you freedom to think, who do you attack, what do you do, where do you go, where do you move, which quest do you do, etc, etc, and how do you finish those quests, because in their games there is always going to be different ways of finishing something, either to deceive someone, or to go full-blown attack, or to steal it, or to just think out of the box. It's very much possible in their games, and they haven't deviated from that road even to this day, and I doubt they're going to deviate from it when it comes to Elex 2. So I hope that mechanically wise they had solved a lot of things, because that's going to be a make it or break it for a lot of new people. I don't really am worried about the old fans of Piranha Bytes. They know what they're getting into, but for everyone new, I hope that's been sorted out. The next worry I have is also when it comes to boss fights. In Elex 1, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. The boss fights were kinda you know, they were just not the best, and the people who played Elex 1, who had finished the game, I don't want to spoil anything, but people who played it and experienced every single boss fight in the game, it wasn't the best, was it? So I do genuinely hope that the boss fights in Elex 2 are gonna be a little bit more meaningful and impactful in that sense, and just have more variety when it comes to attacks, when it comes to strategies of fighting that boss, etc, etc, because I mean, it makes sense. Fighting every single monster in their game is a certain strategy. How do you attack it? Who do you attack? And when do you attack? Because you will have monsters at the start of the map, usually, which are gonna be really strong, that you cannot really kill at the beginning. So the bigger the monster is, you know, you kind of have to have a better gear for it, and a lot of people actually go in full frontal attack on a troll and they get annihilated and they're like level 1. So obviously I do hope, at least when it comes to the placement of the monsters, when it comes to the things around you in the first hour, I hope that they kind of cater towards new people. So I do hope mechanically it's been fixed. Now, one of the worries I have before is about the jetpack, and luckily it's been utilized a little bit more now, because you will be able to fly across the map, not at the start, because from the gameplay we had seen from Extra Life and the others, like the first basic version of that jetpack you get at the beginning of the game is still going to be that jetpack from Elex II, so it's gonna launch you a little bit in the air, and that's about it. Later on you will be getting a better jetpack, which you will be able to use to traverse across the map itself, which is definitely better. And then especially when it comes to the air combat and flying combat, how is that going to be done? I am not sure, and there were some issues in the gameplay I'd seen for Elex II. So again, they are working on those issues. It's also important not to expect a AAA polishing from the studio, because they're not that big studio. You know, they were bought by THQ Nordic, but that doesn't mean they're immediately going to have 200 people working on this game. It's still a relatively small studio that is trying to kind of still push like big RPG games, and you can see that they hit a few bumps here and there because they don't have the manpower that they had before when it comes to just say, you know, working on different things game wise, you know, implementing new things. It's not that easy. That's why they take a hell of a long time to develop one game, and people expect like insane AAA polishing, which is something you are most definitely not going to get in their game. So again, that's the biggest worry I have when it comes to combat mechanics, when it comes to mechanics in general, and when it comes to the outline of the game for new players. But we'll see how that thing is going to go. We'll see like how the game is going to perform. When it comes to the engine itself, I personally wasn't having issues with their engine, at least when it comes to Elex I. I don't know, I personally did not have it, so I do hope frame rate wise and everything else, you know, regarding that game is gonna be flowing well, but I do think it will, because they're kind of using the same thing that they used before. So I think, you know, that things are gonna be fine when it comes to that. So yeah, that's my worry. Tell me down below, what do you think about it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, what do you think about Elex II in general? And I'm especially interested in the opinion of people who had never played any one of their games, who are just now gonna get into maybe Elex or Gothic or Elex II for the first time, and also for everyone who had played the game. Tell me down below, what do you think about it? What are your biggest plus and minuses? Because the game is gonna have it. The game is gonna have a lot of plus and a lot of minuses, I am sure of it. Because that's the thing with Piranha Bytes. They make really cool games, really good RPGs. They know how to make an RPG. They made Gothic 1, which is an RPG which inspired a lot of RPGs, including The Witcher 3. It's my favorite game of all time. So they know the essence of an RPG. But I do hope, mechanically wise, things have improved and things are gonna be flowing once it comes out, and that's gonna be important for everyone else, because they can release games for us old Piranha Bytes fans for so long. You know, sometimes you gotta, you know, go look out for new audience, for new people who are going to be following your studio for years to come. So yeah, this is everything I have for today. Tomorrow I have a new video, and stay tuned for that. Also check us out on Twitter and Discord, and if you enjoyed this video, click that like and subscribe button, you know, it helps out a lot with the channel. And also huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. Again, this is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.